Watch the ride.
Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. As you may know, I have this Energica Experia on loan from English Electric to make some videos and a review on. Today I want to talk about the Experia and range, because obviously with electric bikes, range is a massive deal, and this is kind of impressive. So far, I have been in, and I'll make it clear, I've been in sports mode, the absolute power mode, this whole time. Regen's only been on 2, not 3, which it could be higher. And I've done 98 miles. And that's motorway miles, national speed limits, me zipping around on it, not trying to be nice to it or trying to get extra miles out of it. I've been riding it for fun. And I have still got 43% of my battery remaining. It's estimating about 75 miles left-ish. I mean, that does change depending on how you're riding, so I don't know exact end figure will be. But that's not far off of 170 miles. Like, these are really impressive numbers considering how quickly we're getting along here, because it used to be terrible. Now this is definitely usable. And don't forget, this bike can charge from 0 to 80% in 40 minutes. Again, still not as quick as a petrol refill, but we're getting much closer. English Electric told me that they managed to get 140 motorway miles out of a charge, which again is damn impressive, because the faster you're going, the more energy you're going to use. However, continuous power is better than constantly squirting up to a speed and then stopping, then squirting up to speed and stopping. It's all a bit of give and take, you know. But point is, people are concerned about range. On the Experia, I think they're getting to a point that for most people, that would do. And the thing is, remember that if you charge it overnight in your garage, every morning you've got 150, 60, 70, which let's say 150 to 200 miles of range every day available to you. I know a lot of people go touring. I know a lot of people could do long rides. I know they like going on long weekend rides, and I know some of you do multi-100-mile weekend rides. But I have a feeling for a lot of people that would actually be fine. You know, for comparison, my DRZ does about 110 miles to a tank. There's a 440cc with a 10 litre tank. My XJ6 does about, now they claim online about 200 miles. I've never actually tested that theory because I don't pay attention to it. Unlike my DR, where I actually have to count the miles because it doesn't have a fuel gauge. With the XJ, I just look at the fuel gauge and fill it up when it needs filling up. Now again, I'm not being kind to this bike by coming to a hilly area, because hills kill electrics too. Oh yes, this is the mud and algae road, isn't it? Do not drop this bike. I don't care if I'm going ridiculously slow. Having nearly dropped this bike on algae down here a little while ago. Hello, cows! And also railing this thing over a pothole. Thank you, English Electric, for being understanding about that. I mean, they get there's nothing I could have done, but, you know, they were more concerned about me than the bike. Just expecting a car, tractor, cyclist, horse, something around any of these corners at any moment. Or maybe these people's dogs. Remember that video? Watch out, birdies! Oh, wait a minute, have they swept the gravel out of this road? They have, finally! Oh my god! There's normally a thick line of gravel and just broken glass and screws and horribleness up the middle of that road. They've actually cleaned it out. They've obviously done that when they did all the fly tipping pickups, because I've just noticed all the fly tipping stuff is gone too. Looks like he wants a fight. You want a fight? As today is such a lovely day, I'm just going to go down to Portsmouth. I'm going to ride around a bit. I'm going to ride back home, and I'm going to see what my end mileage is at the end of it. Now, I can't go down to complete zero with this bike, because this bike actually needs a software update. That there is a risk that when I get down to about 8% of charge, it might think that's the last of it, rather than giving me that last few miles. So rather than risk that, I'm going to only get down to like 15%, and I'll make sure I'm near home by that point. Oh my god, it is boiling. What does it say? 29 degrees. It is 29 degrees. Oh my god, imagine how hot I'd be if I was on my XJ6 with that inline 4 engine underneath me, cooking me. Oh my god, it'd be hell. I mean, I have noticed that nearly every single motorcycle rider I've seen today is not wearing any gear. Where are we up to anyway? 107.3 miles covered and 41% of my battery remaining. Yeah, that battery isn't really moving much because it's sort of going, oh, you're actually just going 30 now. Oh, okay, everything's fine. Rather than making this video overly long, I'm going to turn the cameras off, put some music on, ride around, crank that mileage down a little bit more, and I'll catch up with you in a bit. But we're currently at 109.1 miles covered, 41% of the battery remaining. That means you could basically refill this battery in about half an hour on a quick charger. Wow. Maybe not the last bit because you have to balance, but that's getting a bit too technical for now. Okay, well, some time and some miles have passed. We're up to 121.6 and I have 36% of my battery remaining. I am nowhere near home and I have no range anxiety whatsoever. I know I'm going to be fine. In fact, I want to go up this way a little way, have a look down there, and then head back my way. Okay, everybody, it's been a long while. In fact, I ended up going home having some lunch and I came back out, done more miles, went off the island, came back on the island. I've been all over the place and I'm calling it now because I cannot spend any more time on this bike today. This bike will not die. So I'm up to 165.9 miles with 17% of my battery remaining. Now, again, put it into perspective, it would take 40 minutes, roughly, to get this thing 80 to 100% charged. 40 minutes. I'm absolutely stunned. I remember that when I had the Eva Rebelli, I got to 107 miles and I had 24% of my battery remaining. And I'm up to 166.3 and I've still got 17%. Also, performance. Haven't noticed any difference whatsoever. It still feels just as quick as ever. And lots of electrics turn that down. Not noticed that with this. I wouldn't even care if it did. You never use all of it anyway, but I don't feel like it has. It's also giving a suggested range of 31 miles. So that would take us up to nearly 200 miles of only sport mode with motorway stuff and me gunning it around. What's the actual... Now, as I say, English Electric got 140 miles out of it on a motorway. Now, that makes sense because that is 70 miles an hour the whole time. You are really, pushing against wind resistance. Remember that as you increase speed, wind resistance squared, or whatever it is, it increases a lot. So 140 miles on a motorway is pretty damn impressive, but for normal riding, I didn't even use the urban mode. This was in psycho mode. It's still in psycho mode. But yeah, I am massively, massively impressed by this bike in many different areas, but man, I know it's very expensive, but for a lot of people who are kind of like not completely against electrics, but are like, no, I need more range than that. If you said to them 160, 170, 180 miles riding normally and it will take you an hour to fully recharge it, around, depends on balancing, I think they might be quite okay with that. So I can now give you my final range result. As I say, keep in mind, the entire time I was in sports mode. I was not trying to be nice to this bike. I was actually riding it for fun, squirting around on it, which is the worst thing you can do. Also note, I started this range test at the beginning of the video where I went to Goodwood. I basically had it 100% that morning and didn't charge it again for a couple of days. And I went on motorways, up and down hills. I was flying around on it. I was going on 30-mile-an-hour roads. I did a real mixed test of riding how you would and actually having fun with the fact that it's an electric, and my total end result was 170.6 miles on a single charge. That is pretty incredible. I know this bike is very expensive, but this is the pinnacle of electric bikes. I don't know of anything out there that can get that sort of range with those modes. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. I would very much appreciate that. Subscribe if you're new here, and if you want to see more videos on this bike, I've got a whole review series I'm doing. My next video on this bike will be the actual review, so catch me for that one. If you want to help support this channel, you can do that through Patreon. I really do appreciate the support, and thank you to the people who have recently joined. Yeah, catch you next time. Bye-bye.